Patriot AN/NPOM PQ-65 radar does something no other air defense system in the world can match. From a single phased array antenna, it searches for targets, tracks them, and guides interceptors simultaneously. In the first 40 seconds after the Camp Buering alarm sounded, that radar identified 5 inbound ballistic warheads, prioritized them by trajectory and speed, launched PAC-3 MSE interceptors in pairs, and destroyed 3 of 5 targets at Mach 6 closure speeds in complete darkness. The crew performed flawlessly. The system performed exactly as designed. And Iran had spent months building an attack specifically around the 90-degree limit of the sector that antenna could cover. 2 warheads got through. 3 Shaheds arrived from a direction the radar was never pointing at. This is not a story about a system that failed. It is a story about an adversary that studied a system, found its geometry, and built an entire attack plan around a gap measured in degrees. The PAC-3 MSE interceptor, missile segment enhancement, is a kinetic kill vehicle. There is no explosive warhead. At the closing speeds involved, combined approach velocities exceeding Mach 6, the missile body is the warhead. Each interceptor uses an active Ka-band seeker and 180 attitude control motors to steer itself into its target with terminal precision. It is, in engineering terms, one of the most sophisticated short to medium-range intercept systems ever deployed. On the night of the Camp Buering attack, it performed 3 successful intercepts in under 40 seconds against ballistic warheads inbound at Mach 3+. That is a technical achievement of extraordinary difficulty under combat conditions, with minimal warning time. The system's limitation is not capability. It is geometry. The phased array antenna that drives everything, search, track, and guidance, covers a 90-degree sector. That sector must be oriented before the threat arrives. Against a known ballistic threat axis, the crew orients the sector. The system then performs everything it was designed to do within that sector. Against a threat arriving from outside that sector, the system is not incompetent. It is simply not pointed in the right direction. Iran knew this. The 5 Fateh 313 ballistic missiles launched 8 minutes before impact from the southeast established the sector. The Patriot battery locked onto the ballistic tracks, processing power at maximum capacity, some radar face pointing firmly southeast. For the previous 40 minutes, 3 Shahed 136 drones had been cruising in from the south at 100 feet of altitude. Radar cross-section approximately the size of a large bird. Commercial GPS guidance, the same chip architecture found in consumer devices, steering 40 pounds of explosive to pre-programmed coordinates at 100 knots. Against a Patriot radar, optimized to scan upward for ballistic arcs, detecting a target at 100 feet of altitude and approximately 3.5 meters of wingspan, requires the radar to be looking in entirely the wrong part of the sky at exactly the wrong elevation angle. Iran had done the math on this with precision. The attack achieved its intended sequencing. At 0342, the first Fateh warhead impacted the helicopter maintenance area. Overpressure arrived before sound. 2 Apache airframes destroyed on the flight line. Hangar section collapsed. At 0342, the second warhead struck the fuel depot. Thermal bloom expanding faster than a man can run, 30-mile smoke column. At 0343, a Shahed detonated inside the base operations center, severing command coordination. The attack was not random. It was sequenced against specific target categories: aircraft, fuel, command. The engineering behind it was deliberate. Quick note: you're watching Defense Wire. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. The response was equally engineered. 4 F-15E Strike Eagles launched from Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base by 0353, carrying a combined 92,000 pounds of precision-guided ordnance. The first targeting problem was trajectory data. The MQ-9 platform had tracked the Fateh launchers for 3 minutes post-launch before losing them behind terrain. The resulting search corridor was a wedge rather than a point, bounded by a known tunnel complex northeast of the launch area. Positive identification required the sniper advanced targeting pod to reach resolution range, which required descending from 25,000 feet, where heat signatures were ambiguous blobs, to 15,000 feet, where vehicle outlines became crisp. The descent toward the target area also meant descending toward whatever air defense asset was protecting the launchers. That asset was a Tor M1. The SA-15 gauntlet is architecturally significant precisely because it is self-contained. Every other mobile air defense system in the Iranian inventory requires external radar vans, command posts, and data links. Attack any one node, and the system degrades. The Tor M1 carries its search radar, tracking radar, and 8 missiles on a single armored chassis. There is no external node to attack. The only way to kill a Tor M1 without an anti-radiation missile is to locate its GPS position and deliver a weapon to it. That requires either a long emission from the Tor itself, which an experienced crew will deny, or a close-range passive triangulation using the host aircraft's own sensor suite. The F-15E carries no AGM-88 harm. It is a strike platform, not a wild weasel. The APG-82 AESA radar, however, has a passive mode capability that is specifically relevant here. Its 1,000 transmit-receive modules can flip from active broadcasting into pure absorption mode, receiving and triangulating external emissions to a GPS coordinate, precise enough for weapons employment. The limitation is time. To build a targeting solution precise enough for a GBU-39 small-diameter bomb at standoff range, the APG-82 needs sustained continuous emission from the source. The TOR commander in this engagement was disciplined. 3-second bursts in scan mode, then silence. Insufficient to build a solution. The solution to a disciplined Tor operator with 3-second burst discipline is to give him a reason to go continuous. Rage 01's pilot descended from 25,000 to 15,000 feet, a deliberate closure toward the launcher search area. From the geometry created for the Tor commander was binary and absolute. Stay dark. Watch the Fatehs destroyed from altitude by a sniper pod he cannot interfere with. Go active. Hand the APG-82 the continuous emission time it needs. He chose to fight. He went active on fire control track, continuous emission, 6 seconds of solid signal. The WISO triangulated across the second pass, locked GPS, and released a GBU-39 SDB from 16,000 feet. 1 missile came off the TOR's rail in that window. Rage 01's pilot broke at 6 Gs, chaff dispersion, minimum engagement altitude break. The Tor missile lost look-down angle at 800 feet. The GBU-39 arrived at the Tor's position 7 seconds after it fired. A $40,000 weapon erased a $25 million system. The GBU-39, small diameter bond, deserves engineering attention in its own right. Diamond-shaped folding wings deploy on release. GPS guidance throughout unpowered glide. Up to 60 nautical miles of standoff from altitude. No motor, no exhaust signature, no acoustic warning. A single F-15E carries 8. Its cost, approximately $40,000, against the systems it has been employed against in this engagement, represents one of the most asymmetric cost exchange ratios in the modern precision strike era. On the Fateh launchers themselves, the sniper pod at 15,000 feet resolved crisp vehicle outlines in infrared, engines still glowing hot, launch canister still mounted on rails, parked in a wadi 1 kilometer from the tunnel entrance. The WISO confirmed launcher signatures, designated the lead vehicle, and released. on 12 seconds of unpowered flight. No warning. The warhead detonated at the junction of launch rail and truck chassis. Rage, 2 followed with a GBU-31 JDAM on the second launcher. 2,000-pound warhead, GPS tail kit adjusting 4 fins 10 times per second. Circular error, probable measured in meters. Both Fateh 313 launchers were destroyed. The IRGC compound followed. 4 JDAMs across the command building, communication center, fast attack boat shelter, and fuel depot. Total engagement time from Rage. Flight wheels up to last weapon impact, approximately 20 minutes. What this engagement demonstrates is not American air power superiority in the abstract. It demonstrates the specific logic of precision strike against mobile targets in a degraded air defense environment, and the precise engineering decisions, from the APG-82's passive triangulation mode to the TOR commander's fatal choice to go active, that determined the outcome. The geometry that Iran exploited against Patriot is real and will require architectural solutions, not crew training. The geometry that Rage Flight exploited against the TOR-M1 is equally real and equally studied. If you want to understand how the Patriot radar limitation can be addressed architecturally, check out our analysis of multi-radar air defense integration. And if you want to see the full weapons load and sensor suite of the F-15E Strike Eagle in the context of this engagement, our platform breakdown will give you the complete picture. Subscribe to Defense Wire so you never miss what comes next.